Today we're gonna talk about what's likely to happen the next chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 240, or is it 240? Yeah. Specifically, we're gonna talk about this character, Fumihiko Takaba, the failed comedian. Now, like I said, he's a failed comedian that is pulled into the Kallen game because he was granted an ability through the idol transfiguration that Kenjaku did at the end of the Shibuya arc. He was granted the ability that is called comedian. It's the ability to make whatever you think that is funny into reality. Now, it's unclear or it's not shown if this means that you can do anything outside. You can also do anything outside of yourself, or it only applies to yourself. But if it does work also in other people or other things, this ability is busted, bro. This ability, because first of all, now we see it practically makes the user invincible. It practically makes the user. We've seen at the end of the chapter 239, Takaba is practically invincible. I don't know what funny thing he thinks, or the statement that it has to be funny is because funny is subjective. Like how the hell did what funny thing he thought that he made him invincible to attacks? That to me is kind of vague, to be honest. So yeah, it makes everything you think that is funny into reality. Now that could be a major weakness because Takaba could be an innocent and a kind man, so he cannot think of messed up things to make him be able to actually kill someone. But we actually don't know that because we don't know much about this person. We don't know much about this person to say that, well, he can think of certain things. That's the weakness. The weakness is actually he's so kind and he's so innocent that he cannot think of a way, or he cannot think himself of killing someone. We don't know. If that weakness doesn't exist, this ability is basically the most busted ability in the series. It's unbeatable. It's impossible. It wouldn't make sense for him to be easily beat. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense for him to be put into the situation like Kashimo, easily beat. Even Sukuna would struggle with him. In fact, it's stated that this ability could even compete with Gojo's ability. So nah. So yeah, maybe that's the main weakness, or it being only applicable to the user himself or herself. But I doubt that. I don't know. I don't really know if maybe that's the weakness, the fact that it his personality, his character himself hinders his curse technique. Probably, for example, if Sukuna actually get a hold of this ability, or Kenjaku get a hold of this ability. If Kenjaku gets a hold of this ability, oh my god, that would be the most terrifying outcome. But yeah, this ability is busted. Practically makes him immortal. Practically makes him invincible. Granted, we don't know much about it yet, but from what we've seen, he's able to heal himself. He's able to practically tank any attack. It's pretty busted. It's pretty nutty. And this is gonna be a nutty fight too if we're gonna see it. there's gonna be like Gear 5 levels of now. That's probably I'm probably gonna get hate from that, but this is probably gonna be like a Gear 5 like battle. Like it's goofy. It's gonna be goofy as hell. Now we can say that the easy answer for this technique is domain expansion, but really we don't know that, because remember that he can heal himself, so you can just assume that he can also use reverse curse technique. So why not assume that this ability also grants the user the ability to use some kind of domain amplification. Now that might not be the case, but that's such a cop out. Like that's such a, you know, like you gave him the ability to heal himself, but or the ability to use reverse curse technique even even unintentionally, but you don't give him the ability to protect himself from domains. It's like, yeah, if that's the case, the easy answer to this is yeah, domain expansion. Done. But I doubt that. I think he might even have a domain unintentionally. Like this is possible. He might even have some kind of domain expansion unintentionally. He doesn't know that he expanded the domain, but he did expand the domain. It's kind of like, that's kind of unfair and kind of that's kind of broken, but that's the point of this ability, right? To be broken. So yeah, it's gonna be broken. He might have domain expansion or some sort of his version of domain amplification, where even if he's inside a domain, the sure hit effect doesn't affect him in similar ways to other people. And it's gonna be like, it's a busted ability. Why not keep it a busted ability? That's just what I'm saying. Now that doesn't mean that he's gonna win. He's likely gonna lose. But I don't want this to be like another Kashima, right? It's gonna be, if that happens, that would be so disappointing. That would be so freaking disappointing. I wouldn't like that at all. Like practically Kashima practically just go out there to die. To Sukuna. It doesn't even have a point. Like, what's even the point of him going out to Sukuna, right? Yeah, that's what I don't want to see. Like, we have this up, we wait for, like, we have this as a cliffhanger, and then after that chapter comes out, he's just defeated just like that. I think that he's gonna do something. I don't know what that is. I'm not sure, but he might trigger something. He might even, I'm not even gonna be shocked if he actually defeats Kenjaku now, because that's Gege's style. Like, Gege loves the shock factor, in my opinion, over Dan at times, but he loves the shock factor. Now that might be the shock factor this he actually is able to beat Kenjaku. But you know, I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there though. On second thought, that might not be possible because he's the main villain of the story. But I just don't want this talk about to just be another Kashima. Like, he goes out there, he goes in there and just lose. At least give a good fight and push Kenjaku into some sort of another form or something. Like, this may be what's gonna push Kenjaku into revealing his true form. What's that brain really looks like? How do you hop bodies? Like, we probably, you know, this is a possibility. We probably might see Kenjaku in real time switching bodies. That's probably what's gonna happen, and it's gonna be scary. It's gonna be terrifying. But that would make Kenjaku so disgustingly overpowered. Gege might write himself into a corner if that happens. It really all depends on how Gege would write it though. That's just the easy answer to this. It all depends on how Gege would write this ability. If it's gonna be like he's able to affect even his surroundings and other people, or only himself. If Kenjaku is gonna have some sort of counter ability to this ability, we don't know. I don't know. Maybe you know. Tell me. But yeah, that's probably how it's gonna be. The question to be answered is, if this ability is gonna be so busted that he's able to affect his surroundings and other people, and if Kenjaku has a counter ability or gonna introduce another concept that will be able to counter this ability. We will see the next chapter. Hopefully we still won't get Yuji versus Sukuna, which sucks, but yeah, this is gonna be cool if this is not gonna be another Kashimo versus Sukuna. Peace. Have a nice day.